What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sunday Sports Club podcast, a podcast all about sports told by a woman, and that woman is me. Hi, guys. I'm Allison Cooch, your host, and today we have on a very special guest. Her name is Whitney Risner, and I'm so excited to be talking with her because we ended up doing a show with other football wives. And I think it only had 6 episodes, but we kind of became friends a little bit before then, got to hang out and talk. And it's been a minute since we last talked.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so honored to be on this. So excited. And I know so much has changed since we last saw each other. It's crazy.
Well, I say we haven't talked in a minute, but we follow each other on social media and interact with each other. So
Yes.
I'm that's talking these days, right?
100%. I feel like I know your life and I feel like I know all of the things. I see, even when I meet people in real life and the first time, I'm I feel like I definitely know you, but I know I don't. It's so wild. Social media is
It's
crazy.
the parasocial relationship when people walk up to you and they act like they know about your life. I'm like, no, I definitely overshare.
Yes. I love that. So
Anyways,
fun.
you guys, Whitney is former college basketball player, an entrepreneur, content creator, and wife of Bengals guard Dalton Risner. Did I miss
Yes.
anything?
No, you killed it.
I'm like, you're killing it because I know you
Oh,
have your own jewelry brand that you literally make from scratch and you get to make all the pieces. You get to move with your husband whenever it's football season. And I can't wait to dive into all of the things. So, first question, you just moved to Cincinnati about a month ago. How are you settling in?
yes, it's been a whirlwind. I mean, too, it's once you get the call, it's you're gone. The guys are on the flight, you're packing up the house, you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm literally moving across the country." And it's so funny, just Ohio, I knew nothing about Ohio. When Dalton, he had came out earlier for a visit, and Bengals fans are so fun. I had a guy Venmo me and say this is for your move to Cincinnati, before we even signed. People are so Bengals fans, they love their team, they're ride or die, and it makes it so much fun. So even before we got here, the fans, just whether it was DMs, Venmo, Dalton was getting cameo requests for all of the details, just so many fun things. I feel you from the outside looking in, it's oh my gosh, you have to move by yourself and pack everything up, but those are just little things that make it fun, where it's okay, I know this isn't forever, and right now it's such a blessing to be able to do it. So yeah, I'm gonna pack up the house, and yeah, we're gonna move across country when I know nobody, but it's fine.
Honestly, if it makes you feel better coming from somebody who's out of that season of life, I definitely miss it. I definitely miss the chaos of
Yeah,
moving and just 24 hours, things drastically changing.
totally.
Um, I will say Ohio, they love their football. Is this the
Yes.
first Ohio team he has been on?
Yes.
Okay. What teams has Dalton been on?
So Dalt was drafted to Denver. He did 4 years in Denver, and then Minnesota for 2 years, and then now Cincinnati. So we're in year 7, and yeah, first Ohio team.
Yeah. I love that for you guys. And honestly, I always just I feel like I always say negativity about the orange, but I kind of miss the orange. How are you feeling
Yeah.
about the team itself and just the city of Cincinnati? I've never been to Cincinnati before, and I do know they love their football team. So what is it like moving to this new city?
Yeah, it's been so fun. I think what makes it the most fun is each city has their own things. Minnesota, they had the school chant, and they're known for going up north and cabins and the cold, and being proud of being from such a cold state. And so it was fun to really lean into that. And then now in Cincy, it's they're known for Skyline Chili. They're known for just all the things that they're known for. It's so fun to I tried my first Skyline Chili in an airport at 8 in the morning, and everybody in the comments was like,
Horrible
"Why?"
decision.
Yeah, it's the worst decision you possibly could have made. But I was I'm really leaning into it. I've had so many people tell me I have to try Skyline. So I would say moving here, it's been fun to see okay, what are people from Cincinnati most proud of? Okay, I wanna get the full experience while we're here. who's to say, like, we might not be here next year, or we might not ever live in Cincinnati again. So like just being here and like getting the full experience is like what I'm really leaning into right now.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I know each city has their own thing, their own like
Yes.
culture. And I remember when Isaac signed to all of these different teams, kind of like the process of like, there's a lot of like like anxiousness building up because like you're talking to multiple teams or you're getting workouts or this and that. A lot is happening. And then you get the call and you're like, okay, this decision is made. So,
Yeah.
what was this move like? Because it was during football season, correct?
Yes. So it was during preseason, and Dalt had a couple teams reach out. So he was kind of in this phase of like, okay, where do I want to go? Like, what's next for me? Like, Dalton and I are really big into our faith. And so we were really just trying to like pray and lean into like, okay, what does God have next for us? Because we know that like we can make our plans all we want, but it doesn't ever work out how we plan. So, like, what's next for us? And so he had went and had a workout there, and they kind of talked back and forth, and you know how it works, like the negotiation, and they just didn't get to a point where they agreed. And so there was like a 5-day period, and that's when like everybody was like, so like what's happening? And we were like, like, you don't really know. You're like, well, like they're talking, I don't know,
You're like,
like
I don't know, my mouth is shut.
yeah, literally. Zip. And so when it finally happened, it's so funny. Like, I think people think that you're like sitting at a desk like making these decisions and it's all formal. And like Dalton and I went and played pickleball and got back here literally covered in sweat, like sitting at our dining table. And his agent called and was like, this is the deal, like gave us his advice. And we were like, okay. Took a second. And we're like, yeah, I feel like this is where God wants us. And so I think it's so funny. It's like if people could have seen like just both of us just like sweaty gross, just sitting at the table, like, let's do it, like hugging each other so gross, being like, all right, Cincinnati's next, like, let's go.
Yeah, I love that. And with the move, I mean, once you get a call for the people listening, like once you get a call, it's kind of like, okay, Dalton immediately had to leave and like get out there, especially because it's like, okay, football season's right around the corner, like it's about to start.
Yeah.
So that has a lot of pressure on you to like get everything moved because your off-season home is in Florida, correct?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Okay. And so, like, getting everything to Cincinnati, what do you guys move? Because I know throughout the years, sometimes you become more and more of a minimalist. So, do you guys have like your own stuff that you move every football season? Do you guys bring everything? Do you bring really nothing? Like, what does that look like?
I love that. That's such a good question. It's so funny because when we first moved to Minnesota, I knew nothing. It was our first time ever moving, and I had to do it by myself. Well, I say by myself. My parents have flown out and helped me move every year, which I am so grateful for. They are
We love
actually
parents.
saints. Yeah, we love parents. We absolutely do. And so it's funny, like the first year I show up to Minnesota, and Dalt's like, we talked, we're like, okay, we're gonna rent furniture or hopefully find a furnished house. And we get there and there was like no furnished property. So we're like, okay, that's not gonna work. Let's move on to the apartments. And so we're going through like court, renting furniture, all that good stuff. But Dalton, I show up with all this stuff in a U-Haul, and he's like, you literally forgot like all of our kitchen stuff, but you packed our Christmas tree. And I'm like, yeah, man, like the essentials. Like I had all of the Christmas decorations, no kitchen stuff. So I'm like, well, priorities. So the first year was like a mix of everything. And then since then, the past 2 years, we're like, okay, no furniture, none of that. Like, we're going to find a fully furnished place. That way, at the end of the year, like, we can just load up our little U-Haul, load up our cars, and then like ship them back to Florida. So this year, I only brought, it's funny that you say like each year it gets like less and less. Like, I brought like barely any of my clothes, and I'm like, I'll figure it out. Like, maybe I'll have to go shopping. Like, dang it, I hate that. But so
You're
this
like,
year was like nothing. Yeah. Like literally the essentials.
I love the priorities of like, no, we're bringing the Christmas decor.
Yeah.
You guys have a dog, correct?
Yes.
So then do you drive every time you move for football season?
So the past 3 year, okay, the first year we did, the second year we flew, third year we drove. So he's so small he can just fit on a plane. He's like 20 pounds. He's a
Mm.
cockapoo. So I can fly with him, which is really nice. And I will say like the flying the second year was so nice. Um, but with just like both of our cars this year, it was only 13 hours, and my dad was like willing to drive and my mom was willing to drive my car so I could just like work, and I'm so grateful for them for doing that. So it ended up being better that we just drove, but normally it's so nice to just like ship the vehicles and fly. That's like my dream situation, I guess.
I'm like, it takes a village to raise a child, but it also takes a village to support you during football season when you're
Yeah,
married to a football player.
literally. That's so real. 100%.
When it comes to training for my marathon, something I didn't really think too much about early on that I've quickly realized I need to think a lot more about is getting in enough protein. And with somebody who's always on the go, whether that be on a plane, in a car, or running to my next workout, protein is important. And that's why I've fallen in love with David Protein. So, David Protein is packed with 28 grams of protein, only 150 calories, and 0 grams of sugar. So it's the least calories for the most protein that you will ever find in a bar. And that's the beauty, is that it is in a bar. So it's so easy to take on the go, throw it into your bag. I have a few in my bag, in my gym locker. I feel like, there's just everywhere, honestly, in my house, in my car, and they're great for staying full and hitting your protein goals without all that added junk. So it's ideal for people looking to increase protein, cut sugar, and manage calorie intake. And 75% of its calories come from protein, which is 50% higher than any other bar. It comes in this iconic gold packaging, and it's available online and at retailers. So again, perfect for keeping in your bag for a quick and satisfying snack. And I get to meet my protein goals. After weeks of being out of stock, David is officially back in stock on their website. They're offering our listeners a special deal: buy 4 cartons and get the fifth one free when you go to davidprotein.com/Sunday. That's davidprotein.com/Sunday. Prefer to shop in person? David is now in over 5,000 stores nationwide, so check out their store locator to find a location near you. You know how after a really tough game, analysts replay every single moment to try and figure out like what went wrong? Now imagine your brain doing the same thing but with your own life, and no matter what you do, it never stops. So I want to take a second to talk about what OCD really is. Real OCD is nothing like the stereotypes about liking things organized. It's a serious and highly misunderstood condition where unwanted, distressing thoughts get stuck on repeat in your mind, and you feel compelled to engage in certain behaviors to try and make them stop. The amazing thing is that OCD is highly treatable with the right kind of specialized therapy. What works for OCD is ERP therapy, or exposure and response prevention, not standard talk therapy, which can make things worse. So, NOCD is the world's leading provider of OCD treatment. All of their licensed therapists truly understand OCD and specialize in treating with ERP. NOCD therapists are trained by world renowned experts in OCD, so they know how to help you take the power away from intrusive thoughts and live the life that you want to live. And therapy with NOCD is 100% virtual, covered by insurance for over 155 million Americans, and includes support between sessions, so you never are facing OCD alone. So, to learn more about starting OCD therapy with NOCD, go to nocd.com and book a free call to learn more about how they can help. That's nocd.com. All right. Well, I want to get a little bit into you and Dalton's marriage. So let's go back to before you and Dalton ever started dating. Who was into who first? How did you guys finally get together? Like, what made you want to give Dalt a shot?
Yeah, I love this. So Dalton and I knew of each other in college. I played basketball at Fort Hays State. He played football at Kansas State. So our schools played each other. We like knew of each other, and he slid into the DMs. But at the time, I had like just started dating a guy, and I was like, like told him my situation, and so we ended up not talking for a year. But like we like remained mutuals on social, and then about a year later, we are both at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri at the same time, and we had a mutual friend that went to college with me and was Dalton's like childhood bestie. Ended up being our best man in our wedding, so it's so funny now. But he was on the trip with him too, and so I remember like we were like, okay, like I'm gonna. He said he was like going out to like it, Shady Gators. I'm like, that's I should leave that out of the story, but I have to tell it. Okay, we met at
It
Shady
feels pretty
Gators.
necessary.
Oh, shady, yeah. But anyway, I like talked my girlfriend into going out with me. It was like a Wednesday, and I was working down there. My parents have a house at the lake, so I was like staying there for the summer, got a summer job there. And so I was like, it's a Wednesday. Like I have to work tomorrow, but I really wanted to meet him. And he did a lot of like really cool things in college, giving back. And so it was his 5th year and he was leaving Kansas State. And I was like, okay, I've heard a lot of really great things about this guy. I feel like our paths have crossed. So I like talked to my girlfriend. I'm like, will you go out with me, please? Like, I want to meet this guy. I want to see how he is in person. So end up showing up and he's of course 6'5", and so easily spotted. And he has just like this group around him. And he, if you know Dalton, like, and I'm biased, I'm sure, but he is like so easy to love and just has like such an energy that like just attracts people. And so me in my head, I am a young college girl thinking like, okay, this guy, like he thinks he's hot stuff. Like he's got like all of these people around him. Like I am not going to go feed into this. Like, no, not going to happen. So I show up and I like go over to his friend that I know, and I'm like talking to his friend, and he's like very thrown off. He like comes over to me and he's like, "You're not even like gonna come say hi." And so we like did the whole like, back and forth the whole night, but like was very curious, right? So first night we met, we like hit it off. I am definitely like playing hard to get because I'm like, okay, there's this guy. He's just like been drafted to Denver. Like he thinks he's hot stuff. Like he's here with all of his football buddies. Like I want to meet him. I'm curious, but like not going to be the girl that's like, hey, so
You're like,
he would,
I know what this looks like, but I don't want it to look like that.
yeah. So I'm like just, college girl having fun. So we end up hitting it off and end up hanging out like the whole weekend. Like we met up the next day for lunch and end up just kind of like talking throughout the weekend. And it was so funny because I'm like, he has this like, you know, bad boy football persona, like idea about him, but he's so sweet. So I'm like, whatever. So one of the last nights in town, I got to tell this story because he would totally tell the story. So one of the last nights of the weekend we met, he is like hanging with his buddies and they're like wrestling and like running into drywall, like being football college guys, like whatever, weird.
Hold on. Running
Yeah.
into drywall. Okay.
Yeah. Him and his best friend, they were like wrestling. They like, I don't know, threw each other through drywall. It was like a whole thing. And he comes up to me and he like puts his hand up. He hasn't talked to me like really the whole night, honestly. Puts his hand up and is like, oh, look. And then he throat chops me. Like, he like does one of these. And I'm just immediately like, I'm leaving. Like, that is like, you haven't talked to me all night. That's the first thing you come say to me. Like, nope, this guy's exactly who I thought he was. Like, I'm out of here. So I like grab my girlfriend. I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm going to Uber us out. So I like go upstairs, and now like knowing Dal and his like silly self, like it's so funny. Like that story is hilarious to me because it was not how I pictured it at all. Like it was not like him trying to embarrass me or like be a jerk or anything. Like it was just him being silly and like trying to be like, hey girl, like
Hey, throat chop.
throat chop.
Hey.
Yeah. So end up Ubering home, and I remember he like comes upstairs, he's like, can you please like stay and hang out? I'm like, no. So I left. We ended up like seeing each other again that weekend, and he invites me back to his parents' house for his birthday. And I'm like, okay, this man wasn't serious. He wouldn't be inviting me to meet his parents. So I'm like, I've known him for 5 days.
You're like, this is moving a little fast.
Yeah, I'm like, but actually, like, okay, still intrigued. So end up flying to Denver and meeting his whole family, like extended family, the whole shebang. He didn't like intend for them to be there, but ended up meeting everybody. He has 5 brothers, and I really got a feel of like who he is, where he was raised, the kind of man he is, and I was like, okay, this is a really good dude. I had these thoughts about him, but he's a really good guy. So we ended up doing long distance his rookie year. I was playing college basketball in Kansas and going to nursing school. So wild, so random.
Like so many different lives. Also, I have to say the
Yeah.
throat chop makes sense knowing how many brothers he has.
Yes, no sisters. There's 5 boys, no sisters, and 100%.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that makes a lot more sense.
yeah. So ended up doing long distance his rookie year, and yeah, I mean he such a good human. For those who don't know Dal, he like wears his heart on his sleeve. I remember I knew him for like 2 weeks, and he got me this like NFL jersey that said like Risner's girl on the back, and like I come from a very small town, and I'm like I've never even met someone that plays in the NFL, so like all of this was so new to me, and I was very guarded and very like, I don't, I love a simple life. Like, I don't know if this is for me. And ended up just like falling in love with him and figuring out like he wants a simple life too. And, he loves God. And like before that, I didn't grow up in the church. I didn't know who God was. And he like was just such a good influence of like, hey, here's who Jesus is. Like, Jesus is love. He's not all of these rules, and he's not, hate and not judgment. And so, yeah, we just continued to live
I
in
love that.
Denver. He proposed after a year and a half, and the rest is history.
So you were 20 and Dalton was 23 when he headed to the NFL, correct?
Yes, which is so crazy. I wasn't
Feels like
old enough
such
to
a
drink.
baby, like 20, especially getting thrown into that world because it does feel like a whole different world. Were there any speed
1,000%.
bumps in the relationship because of like the NFL, like you being from a small town and just like the totally different like life instances?
1,000%. Yeah, so when Dalton and I first met, I like to explain it as like we were like oil and water. Like we loved each other so hard, but like we fought so hard and we were just two kids. I mean, I was 20. I wasn't even old enough to drink and he was 23. I mean, just two babies trying to figure it out. And we had to figure it out the hard way so many times. I mean, there were a couple times I packed up my entire car and drove back to Missouri and like there
You're
were
like, I
some,
don't know.
yeah, like there were some rough days, but ultimately like once we got engaged, we were in that like really rough part of our relationship of just like we were just beefing. Like we couldn't get on the same page, couldn't figure it out. And we went and saw a premarital counselor that absolutely like changed our lives, gave us the tools to like work through things. And we both just for 6 months, like showed up every week. And the counselor was like, normally these calls are like 30 minutes. Like we're sitting here for like 2 hours a night. Cause like we just like really wanted to figure it out. And we had a lot of love to give, just didn't know the right ways to give it. And so
Yeah.
yeah, we had a premarital counselor that like walked us through so much. And people always say like, was your first year of marriage like really hard? And I'm like, dating was like so hard. Like we both laughed. We're like, I don't know if I could go back to those days. Like, oh my gosh, like that was tough. But just like having those tools and like getting help before we got married was just like so big for us.
Mhm. I actually there's like I feel like I see a few of these videos like going around TikTok right now is,
Yeah.
oh, like marriage isn't hard or like a relationship shouldn't be hard. And I don't think that a relationship in and of itself is hard, but I think that when you throw yourself into like everything else happening in life,
Yeah.
and especially when it comes to the NFL, like think of like how much money these guys make, how much pressure is on these guys, not only from like their teammates, their coaches, the fans, but like everybody else in their life. And I just feel like it's such an interesting dynamic that like not everybody has the tools for. And the first year Isaac was in the NFL was such a growing part of our
Yeah.
relationship because I was still in college when he got drafted to the NFL. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like, do, like, this is so cool. Like, this is great. And he was like, no, no, no. Like, this is a lot of pressure. Like, I have to save
Yeah.
up all of this money. I'm living this way. You think it's this way. And
Yeah.
it's just, it's a crazy dynamic. And I hear a lot of couples in the NFL like talk about how, like, maybe the first year or two, like, it's hard.
So hard. And I think like my biggest misconception was I'm I was 20, right? And I'm like, okay, here's this guy, Dalt, who gets all of this attention from the outside world. Like he doesn't need me to boost him up too. And like, yeah, like he doesn't need that. And like I think that was like the biggest misconception. It's like as a wife or girlfriend or whatever, it's like a man needs admiration and like he wants it from you. He doesn't want it from, I mean, he's grateful for all of the people outside, but just like anything else, it's like your wife or your girlfriend or your parents or the people you love, like admiring you, like that means so much. And just because they're on this pedestal and getting it from the internet and getting this like love elsewhere, like they still need it at home more, just as much, like if not more.
Ever since my daughter was a newborn, I have loved Coterie diapers and wipes, and I'll be using them for my next child. And I'm still currently using them for my current daughter. And it's so sad to see a newborn diaper compared to a size 6, but Coterie has been there along the way. And something I love that Coterie has done is that they developed a minimalist routine with a gentle, less is more philosophy in mind. I'm talking lotion, bun balm, and I love these products so much. So I want to take a second to talk about them. First in the lineup is their First Wash, which is a tear-free hair and body wash that leaves everything very silky. They have their Soft Cream, which lightly but so effectively moisturizes both face and body. And I use this after every single bath time, after every time we get out of the pool. And she's always just like has the most supple skin. And then the Bun Balm. You guys, I love the Bun Balm so much. It's this gorgeous occlusive balm that I love not only for diaper changes, but also for dry patches all over. This stuff just feels so good. Isaac has been loving the Bun Balm as well, not for his bun. I mean, maybe. But he loves it just for like any dry parts on his body. And I love it as well. So I love that these take out a lot of that guesswork by being hypoallergenic, dermatologist tested, made without fragrance or parabens, cruelty free, vegan, microbiome friendly, and pH balanced. So they check a lot of boxes and I love using them for my daughter. If you're interested in checking them out, head to coterie.com and use code Sunday20 at checkout for 20% off your first order at coterie.com. I hate the taste of water. And I'm going to be just very honest. I hate the taste of water. It just doesn't taste like it, well, it does taste like something to me, and I just don't like the taste of it. So, whenever I'm drinking water, I usually have something in it, whether that be a squeezed lemon or I don't know, some kind of fruit. But I also love getting my hydration in with also electrolytes. And I've been looking for a way to stay hydrated with all the sugar and junk, and that's why I love Cure. So Cure is a plant-based hydrating electrolyte drink mix with no added sugar. It's a natural, delicious, and convenient way. It's a natural, delicious, and convenient way to keep you hydrated without all the artificial stuff. The Cure hydration packs are clean and simple. Again, plant-based electrolytes, no added sugar, only 25 calories, and hydrates better than just water alone. The taste of these hydration packs are so good. They're very refreshing. So they have flavors like watermelon, berry pomegranate, and lemonade, and they're never too sweet or taste artificial, and they're perfect for everyday use. So workouts, travel, mornings, or even just to make your water taste better, which yes, I do partake in that. And they are science backed. So they use the same formula proven to hydrate as effectively as like an IV drip. Cure also has their energy drink mix. It is clean energy, plant-based, 100 milligram of natural caffeine and electrolytes for focus and hydration. So no jitters and no crash. And the taste of these are so good. They have crisp flavors like peach tea or acai berry that don't taste fake or overly sweet. So it's perfect for that anytime boost, morning start, pre-workout, or beating the afternoon slump, which yes, it's very necessary. And staying hydrated isn't just about water. You also need electrolytes. And that's why I love Cure. It's clean, tastes great, and actually works. For Sunday Sports Club listeners, you can get 20% off your first order at curehydration.com/Sunday with code Sunday. And if you get a post-purchase survey, make sure to let them know you heard about Cure right here. It really helps support the show. Don't just drink water, upgrade it with Cure. Would you recommend premarital counseling or counseling in general to couples?
Oh my gosh, yes. Like, I do not know if we would have the marriage we have today without it. And like, I think that the big thing is it's not going to take away all your problems, right? Life still hits hard and everybody goes through so many things. However, just having the tools to be able to work through those problems and I don't know, just like how to be there and support your spouse better because it's full circle. It's like how can he be there for you? How can you be there for him? And it just like it gives you the tools and walks you through it. And I definitely highly recommend that.
I love that. Honestly, Isaac and I have never done that, but I'm like, when you have a child and like so many things going on, I'm like, I think we should just to like communicate
Yeah.
effectively. Well, I know that for me and Isaac, the first year after like the first 4 years of his career were hard because that was the first move we ever had to make, as you guys did. So when you guys found out that he wasn't going to be on the Broncos anymore, or maybe it was before this, you guys made the decision to get an off-season home, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you
So
guys chose Florida. So I wanna hear a little bit more about how you guys chose Florida because are either of you from there?
no.
Okay.
No, this is a good story. I love that you asked this. So okay, we had done 4 years in Denver, and his fourth year. So Dalton's from Denver, and I think that's what kind of spurred this. He did a lot in the community there, and so after his fourth year, there was no ownership. Ownership was kind of like the team was being sold, so there was a lot up in the air, a lot of moving parts to it, and so the team was just not doing well at that time, and fans, I think, were just a little bit like just a little bit frustrated with the Broncos in general, and so like vibes weren't high there, and so
Yeah.
after after his fourth year, he was like moving out. We knew that he wasn't coming back. We put our house on the market, and a couple months later, CBS, I want to say, came out with an article that was like Dalton Risner sells his house at and like listed our address. And it's like pictures of our home, like what it's listed for, like weird. And after that, I think both of us were kind of just like it's time to go. We had dealt with a lot of like really hard family stuff in Denver, and it was just there was a lot of growing pains there, like a lot of really really tough stuff we had to go through as a couple, um, and not necessarily between the two of us, of just like the outside world, family,
Yeah.
football, all the things. And so I think that was like our last straw where we were like, let's just like go get a new start. Like, and so we put our house on the market. It sat all that off season. Dalton got picked up by Minnesota, and we were like, okay, like let's take it off the market. Actually, someone was wanting to come buy it, but we were like, how do we like move a house when like move it all to Minnesota? Like it just didn't
Yeah.
make sense. So we're like, okay, let's let it sit. We let it sit, moved to Minnesota. When we came back, we were like, okay, still feeling that like we loved Denver, but it's time for something new. So we put our house on the market thinking that it would like maybe be on there for a couple months like last time.
Mhm.
It sells within 24 hours. And we're like, okay, well, they were willing to pay full price. So this is a sign that we have to accept it. Like you can't really just like be like, oh, you wanted to pay full price, but like actually never mind. So we're
Right.
like, well, okay, it's sold. And we just like looked at each other and we're like, where do we go? Like, and he was so sweet. He was like, we move from my work all the time. Like, where do you want to go? And I was like, I've always wanted to live coastal. Like, should we check out Florida? And so we got on a flight, flew down to Tampa. We rented a car. We're just driving around, found a house, found a realtor, ended up loving the house, put in an offer. We got it.
Bada
all
boom,
within,
bada bing.
all within about like 2 to 3 weeks time, which is madness. It ended up being perfect, and we love it down there. So it's great. But yeah, so wild and so like random.
Like, actually super random. Like, the
Yes.
fact that you guys, like, neither of you are from Florida, didn't really have a huge
Nope.
connection to Florida, and then
Nope.
you're like, "You know what?" Like, honestly, maybe it was the fact that you guys had been, like, signed to Minnesota. You're like, "Okay, we have a cold like, maybe the
Yeah.
NFL will take us cold places, so, like,
Yeah.
maybe we should spend the off season somewhere warm and sunny and with
Yeah.
the ocean."
1000%. And I think it's so funny because like we didn't know anybody in the Tampa area. Like Dalton's brother lives in Orlando, so like 2.5 hours. But I'm like, Tampa is like so random. We didn't know a single person.
Is it hard settling into Florida in that home when you know it's, like, so temporary? I mean, you guys own the home, but it's temporary, the fact that you're only gonna be there for a few months out of the year?
Yeah, I would say it's like it's so wild because I'm sure you know too. It's like the season is so fast paced. There's like games every weekend. People are coming into town. You're hosting. You're getting pulled in a million different directions, and like the team's doing stuff in town. And so I feel like this season feels so busy. So like the off season, it's like quiet, like dead quiet. And I'm like, this is nice. Like, it's nice to have like the back and forth, but I would say like once we get to the end of off season, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for things to be happening again. And then like same vice versa for season. I'm like, okay, I need like a second.
I love that. Okay, so back in 2020, and the reason I know about all of your moves and everything isn't because we
Yeah.
talk every day. It's honestly because of social media, which I
Yeah.
love social media.
Yeah.
But I want to talk a little bit about like the NFL journey and how you've shared it through social media because you started posting back in like 2020.
Yeah.
And how did you get like comfortable sharing your story? What made you want to start social media and kind of like the trajectory of like how many places it's taken you because of it?
Yes, I love that. So back when I started social media, I posted a video of like Dalton pulling me over the wall at a game. And it was in Denver and it just like it was back in the early days of TikTok and when I feel like everything went viral and it was just like you like I go back to some of my videos and I'm like, how did this like get this many views? Like what like this is so random. Like it's like a video of like nothing in it. I'm like, what is going on? Like so early to the platform definitely helped. But yeah, Dalt pulled me over the wall and it like had got some traction. And I remember being like, I have always had such a business mindset. Growing up, I, started the jewelry business out of my dorm and I had a rental property in college. And so I've always just like had a knack for business. And I think I saw the opportunity of social media even way back then of like, once you have a platform, then you're able to do kind of what you want, right? You're able to share what you want. You're able to maybe start that business you've been wanting. And, you have this community that you feel close with. And there's just like so many pros to social media. And I think I saw that back in the day and was like, okay, I'm going to start posting on social. So I started posting on TikTok and I would not really post on Instagram. I was scared of Instagram, actually. I was strictly on TikTok.
I'm still kind of scared of
Yeah,
Instagram.
same. And I remember I would do like only trending sounds. And, um, you know, I think back like the rapid growth. I remember like one week it was like 100,000 followers in a week, and I'm like, that's bizarre. Like that is so like the
Crazy.
growth was just so rapid back then. And I remember my agency reached out, which J1S I know we were both with
Yeah.
before they were acquired by Wasserman and all that good stuff, but they reached out and they were like, hey, do you want to come on? And I'm like, wait, this can be a job? Like, this is so cool. Like, and so before that, I had no clue. Like, I was not the person that grew up like posting, like, or like really knew the ins and outs of it. Like, it kind of just happened. And so then I really fell in love with like, okay, it's like data driven. It's if you, post this amount of videos, you can grow here. And so the first couple years, I think that I really burnt myself out. Like I remember like for a while, I was like trying to post like 6 videos a day.
Mhm.
And I was like really working hard to get to like a million
Jesus Christ,
followers.
the
And
6 videos.
I'm like, but
Like, that
also
makes
the
me
most,
anxious.
yeah, anxious and like the most random stuff, like low quality content. I'm like, what was I doing? But anyway, it's fine. It worked out. But,
You're like, "Yeah, yeah."
um,
In the end, it all
yeah.
worked out, so whatever.
Yeah. So I hit a burnout phase. Like once I remember I like really wanted to hit a million followers on TikTok. And like once I hit that milestone, I was very burnt out. And I was like, okay, I remember going on this like, I don't know, just like break. I didn't share really much. I stopped posting. I was just kind of like overwhelmed. I overdid it. And so when I came back, I really wanted it to be like strategic of like sharing things I love because I wanted to build a community that cared about the same things I cared about and felt like friends. And so I really like changed my approach of like, I want to talk to the camera. I want, even though I'm like kind of scared to show people my life, like I want people to feel like they know me and know like who I am. And so when I came back, that was my approach. And it's definitely been like a whole new game of social media because it is like you have to let people in. And I am
Mhm.
someone who's so scared of that. So for me to let people in, it's a big jump. But now I'm at a good place with social where I genuinely enjoy sharing my life. And it's not just trending sounds. It's not just, oh, what's gonna go viral. I remember I back in the day, like I used to post the most like rage bait, clickbait, like about
Yep.
NFL wife, like I was like, what's gonna get the people going? Like, oh, this is it. And now I'm like, anything that's like the least controversial, like I'm like scared of those days because if a video gets like a certain amount of views, I'm like not looking at the comments. absolutely no, like, I can't. So it's
Absolutely.
just
No,
funny how it's changed.
I think we can all agree movement is what brings us together. Each step forward becomes a journey towards something more community, more connection, more miles. And it's not about the number of miles you go, it's about the miles you share. So move your body, move your mind with Asics. Asics has been my go to shoes, both for fitness and running for my future marathon, but also running after my toddler and lifestyle shoes and just looking cute and having a comfortable shoe on my feet. You guys, if you follow me on social media, you know that I am constantly go, 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 whether I'm at a theme park, the grocery store, on a plane, traveling somewhere, and ASICS shoes are always on my feet. So right now I'm holding in my hand the Gel 1130s, and these are so cute and so comfortable. This is a shoe that I can throw on with some athletic shorts or like some comfy shorts and a cute shirt or jeans, like a baggy pair of jeans. This, it kind of like elevates the outfit. It looks sporty. And again, I wear them both lifestyle and when it comes to actually running for training or working out. You guys know my marathon training is well into effect. And something I never want to have to worry about is the comfort of my shoes. Like, you know, when you're wearing an uncomfortable shoe, it can be all you think about because if you get blisters or it's just like rubbing the wrong way, I never feel that way with Asics. I love my Asics shoes so much, again, both for lifestyle and for fitness and for everything in between. So visit asics.com and use code Sunday at checkout for $10 off your order of $100 or more. Exclusions may apply. You guys know I'm on my workout grind. I am loving working out. I'm just feeling so good and so strong, and I'm feeling really confident, which it's taken a second to get here after having a baby and being postpartum and honestly taking off a lot of time from working out. And I want to take a second to talk about Peloton because Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread powered by Peloton IQ. It's Peloton's most elevated equipment with real time guidance and endless ways to move alone or with your favorite instructors. It's cross training reimagined with features designed to make your workout more personal. I'm a type of person that I do not like doing the same thing every day because then I look forward to it less and less and less. And with Peloton's new cross training tread and it being powered by Peloton IQ, I just never have to worry about that. So, Peloton IQ provides real time strength coaching as well. It tracks your progress and suggests weights that challenge you so that you can get stronger. And the new movement tracking camera allows Peloton IQ to count your reps and correct your form in real time. So, it's taking out the guesswork of your workout so that you can train safer, lift smarter, and make every rep count. And again, Peloton IQ provides personalized plans and recommendations. So, it creates a personal workout roadmap with weekly recommended classes led by instructors who match your mood, vibe, and personality. With personalized plans plus insights and guidance, Peloton IQ helps you unlock new breakthroughs. So let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread at onepeloton.com. All of your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. New customers bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass, plus score $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SSC. That's code SSC. Bet $5 and get $3 of League Pass, plus get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPENY 467369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-97777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. I also feel like social media though has changed as well because I remember sharing our like fresh journey in the NFL and you have the bad comments like the gold
Yeah.
digger, like you're with him for his money. Like I loved those comments, but then
Yeah.
those were also like far and few to a point. Now
Totally.
I feel like it's like attack mode when it comes to social media. So I can
Yeah.
only imagine like how good you feel about like, oh, I'm going to share what I want to share, not what I think is going to do
Yes.
well. It's almost like protecting your peace.
1000%. And I will say, like, I remember you have always been so good at like talking to the camera. And I remember like for the longest time, I was like so inspired by you of like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Like,
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
god,
share
thank
my
you.
life. Yes. Oh my gosh, you do. You are a natural. Like, you are the inspo literally always. And I remember being like, okay, I need to talk to the and just like, cause it's so cool. Like, even me, like, I know we've met in real life one time and like, I feel like I know you so much though because I feel like you share your life so good and like I'm always like rooting for you and Isaac and Scotty and like I feel like I know you guys because you're just so good at social and the way you share.
Oh my god,
It's
no,
an
but I
art.
feel like the same when it comes to you is like when you share like you're adults, like I feel like I know like your relationship is so fun and like lighthearted and you guys like to do so much together. I mean, like whether it's working out or like making food, like you guys seem like you're like such a team and like best friends. And I think that's where social media can be fun because you're like, oh, I actually get to know this person and there's like all
Totally.
these positives. And one thing you've shown on social media has been you becoming like an entrepreneur and like starting your jewelry line and all of that. So I want to talk about that because it's such a like people just assume that if you're married to a professional athlete that you don't have like a job or a hobby or like you're just kind of waiting for him to get home.
Yeah.
But it seemed like you on social media, you starting your jewelry line. So I want to kind of like hear more about that and
Yeah.
how difficult moving an entire business whenever you move for football season is.
Yeah, I love that. It's been so fun. It's been a lot. So yeah, I started Wowwees about 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years in November. And I do not come from like an entrepreneur family. My dad's a farmer. My mom's a teacher. Nobody in my family has ever like started their own e-com business. And so it was built on delusion, I think, because I was like, oh, I could do this. Like, yeah, perfect. Let's just try it. But no, it's been really fun to learn so much. Like I think about myself a year ago and what I knew in business versus what I know now, and it's like you're always learning so many things. And when I launched Wowwees, I had no clue what it would entail. I had done, I had made handmade jewelry in college, and so I was like, oh, like I'm gonna start the jewelry business. I'm gonna find a manufacturer. Like I'm gonna be the designer. And so I did that. It was so hard, but I found a manufacturer that I loved and someone that could like bring my dreams to life because I feel like, as someone who loves to work out and stuff, I would wear jewelry and it would tarnish in no time. And I, wasn't really wanting to put all of my money into real gold. And I'm someone who like loves to have different styles and switch them out. And I'm always like into fashion. And so like I wanted to be able to like bring a happy medium to the table of like, pieces that are affordable, but also you can wear them for a year. They're not going to tarnish. They're good quality. And so, yeah, that was like my goal behind it. And I remember I started this idea of like how I'm going to do this right when I was wedding planning. And Dalton was
Oh
like,
my god.
can we like maybe like just hold for a bit? Like, and I was like in the thick of like trying to find like florists, but then also like manufacturers. And I would have samples on samples sent to the house. And finally found one I loved, launched Wowwees, and just like bootstrapped it. Like I saved up all my money from college and put that into my initial investment, and then have just continued to reinvest in my company. And I think that's been the coolest part about it. And the comments that like cut the deepest are like the ones that are like, oh, like your husband funded this business, or like, oh, I bet you're like, and I'm just like, he didn't. Like he has been my biggest supporter, and honestly wouldn't be able to do it without him. But if we're talking logistics and money, like I did start this brand on my own and I'm proud of that. And so I
Mhm.
think that just like having something that's like literally like my baby, and each, collection I design and launch and I come up with I have a team that helps me too, but they do like all of our social stuff and all of that good stuff. But for the most part, like I do a lot of the gritty and the grind. And to answer your question about moving, yes, I moved like 5,000 pieces of jewelry to Ohio. And it's so
That
funny
just
because
blows my mind in and of itself.
I'm like, if I had which it's so nice because it's so tiny. If I had a clothing business, like this would not be a thing. But
Yeah.
the fact that I can get these into like 4 boxes, I'm like, bro, man, like let's go, like bring them to Ohio.
I
So that's
love
been
that.
wild.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much, and I love how, like, intentional you are. I feel like when we sat down and talked on the show we were on, like, a few
Yeah,
years ago, it just seemed like you were so intentional behind, like, every piece and making sure that you love every piece, and if you didn't
yeah,
love every piece, you weren't gonna sell it.
yeah. I love that. Oh, that's so funny to think about. Like when we were on the show, Wowie's was just like an idea that was about to come to life. Like that's so wild. That's crazy. But yes,
Oh
I
my gosh.
appreciate that. I
No, I
definitely
love it.
each piece is like my baby, and it's so fun to design and think about like, okay, what would I wear this with? And it's even fun to like style and like I don't know, like when I post a piece, it's like I get to see. I feel like when you work with a brand, you don't really get to see like behind the scenes of like, okay, you get to see conversion rates to an extent, right? But like it's been so fun to like wear a stack and like see girls like go get that exact stack. And it's like it's so fun to see like, oh my gosh, they love what I'm wearing, what I've designed. Like I feel honored that they want to wear that. Like it's been fun.
No, you should be so proud of that. I mean, I look at your jewelry all the time and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and purchase that."
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, literally text me your address after this because we would love to send you tons
No,
of
I love,
goodies.
like, what you've built, and I think it's, like, so admirable too because I think that it's really easy to be like, "Oh, yeah, like, my husband's in the NFL, like, I'm gonna do something simple or I'm gonna, like, I don't know, like, I'll
Yeah.
find something to do." But, like, to start a business when you know absolutely nothing about starting a business, if you told me to go find a manufacturer, I would have anxiety. I'd be like, "How do I where? Where? Like, how do I find that?" Like,
Truly.
Google and ChatGPT would be scared of me because I
Yeah.
would be typing away.
Oh my gosh, they're probably still scared of me because the amount of questions I ask where I'm just like, Google, so like, what do I do with this? Like, what do I do
Right.
here? But no, I feel like trial and error and just like the failures too, like those have been able to help me just moving forward of like, okay, how do I be better next time? Which is,
Yeah.
it's not always fun, but it's fun at the same
Yeah.
time.
No, I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, before we wrap up, I have to ask a question. What are you most excited for this next chapter in Cincinnati? Whether that be with your jewelry line or social media or just like football in general and like being in Ohio?
Yeah, I would say a few different levels. Excited for Dalton this season. Excited, like I feel like every community that we get to kind of break into, it's another opportunity for me to like share things I love too and connect with people from Ohio. And I'm gonna do a few events here with Wowies, and so I feel like it'll just be a good way for me to get my pieces in people's hands and see the quality of it and the way it makes them feel and just like kind of have that like face to face interaction with a whole new community. I'm really excited for that.
Oh, I love that so much. Okay, let's jump into some rapid fire this or that type questions.
Ooh, I
All
love
right.
it.
College football Saturdays or NFL Sundays?
NFL Sundays. I
Home
gotta say
games
that
or
right.
away games? Yeah, like, duh.
Yeah. Home games for sure.
Okay. Sideline seats or suite?
Sideline seats.
Coaching your kids' team or cheering from the sidelines?
Cheering from the sideline.
Kelsey brothers or Manning brothers?
Kelsey brothers.
Celebrating a win with the team or celebrating alone with Dalt?
Celebrating a win with the team.
Okay, love that. Okay, and then
Yeah.
where can people find you on social media?
Whitney Marie Risner on Instagram and TikTok. You're gonna have to add an extra R on TikTok because someone stole my username and they won't give it back. But Whitney Marie Risner.
I love that. And then really quickly before we end, who is your pick for the most exciting NFL player to watch this season?
Dalton Risner.
Look, I might be a little biased.
Yeah. I'm like, can I really say anybody else? Like, no, I'm kidding. Dalton for
Exactly.
sure.
No, I love that. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Sunday Sports Club podcast. Be sure to tune in every Sunday wherever you get your podcasts and YouTube.